All right, welcome to episode 8 Between Cast Fishing Podcast. As you can see, we got a little bit of a different look today. We have the three of us. We got Luke and Travis on today, and we're going to try something a little different as far as the three guests. We've never had more than two on the show, so we're hoping this gives you a little bit of a different look. We're also coming from a couple of different areas of the East Coast today. I'm still up here on the warm, balmy shores of Lake Champlain. Luke's down. Where are you at, Luke?
Shores of Lake Norman, baby.
All right, Lake Norman. Travis, where are you hanging out today?
On the shores of the thawing Upper Chesapeake.
There you go. There's no ice on Norman, right? That's too south.
Oh no, the water temp's like. So I took the meat probe out and I stuck it in we're like 3 to 4 feet of water. We're talking like 51 degrees right now.
Dude, it's like chatterbait weather.
The pool at the rental house, is colder than the lake.
Whoa, got it.
Yeah, and I jumped in that sucker, so it was a nice little ice bath.
Very nice. What are you doing down there, Luke?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just
Chasing really big spots and really little largemouth.
So, from what I understand, and what I've found, the bigger spots are on the bigger humps. It's your total typical thing down here on the Lake Norman. Big spots are on big humps. Largemouth are in your gullies. Just it's total typical stuff. Not like Champlain. Nothing like
is
at all.
It's its own animal, dude.
Yeah, that's why we love it.
Well, you have some homework while you're down there.
You catching as many spots as they were on not Logan Martin, wherever the leads were 2 weeks ago?
Absolutely not, brother.
We're not 10 Tom. 10 Tom?
No, that's where they're going next. Oh, Lake Martin.
Martin.
Lake Martin.
Yeah, Martin. Yep.
Martin got some big old spots, dude.
I've never caught one.
You can catch them off the dock here. They're just cruising by. It's silly.
Never.
But they're like 1-2s, like
Little duffers.
Yeah.
Snacking size.
Yeah, they're the size of our perch up on Champlain.
Nice. Cool. Good eating size, dude. 10 inches, dude, in the bucket. You guys don't have them down near you, Travis, do you? No. Yeah. They're a cool fish, man. They kind of remind me of smallmouth. Like the stories I've heard of them.
They eat like smallmouth.
Yeah. Kind of just cruising, pelagic kind of fish.
Oh yeah, they're mean, but they're not our smallies.
No, we keep those near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah, we're not playing those games.
Yeah. So Travis, what's going on down near you on the old Potomac River?
Oh, the old sewage spill.
The 72-inch Potomac Interceptor.
Yeah, just a little tiny, 300 million gallon sewage spill. And
that's it, dude.
That's all.
Whoa.
Besides the few little people that cover it, you would think it's just a tiny little thing because there's no, nationwide coverage. There's no, call for environmental crisis or anything.
Right.
It's, only the minute people that want to report.
So I've seen a couple different clips of it on, the Facebooks and the Instagram from some of the guys down near you where I follow. There is no coverage up here of that. Nothing. And some quick research. They're saying this is one of the biggest sewage spills in U.S. history at this point, with little to no containment, temporary fix, kind of holding it, sort of.
They say they're pumping it into the C&O canal or over and just putting it back into the pipe. But knowing that the canal is however many years old, I'm sure it's not watertight or there's no flow and. The bad thing is now with it being so cold is that none of the bacteria is actually getting cooked off. So it's all just
Right.
settling to the bottom, and it'll never be cooked off until an algae bloom decides to come back through in July, August, and
Right about the time we're there.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty wild. They were saying 75,000 pounds of nitrogen, which I think is like the yearly allotment of what is allowable or what happens year to year in that river system. I'm interested. I mean, not. I'm not all that interested. I am curious to see what happens. I really hope that they're able to mitigate a lot of that disaster. I know just like we have up on here on Champlain, you guys are super reliant. A lot of your industry is reliant on that river system. So
And it's
I
not,
hope God.
and it's not just one state. You should
Right.
have a multi-state,
Right.
attack on this because it's not just Maryland; it's Virginia too.
Yeah, and that was I saw in some of the coverage, and I was been monitoring your guys' more local coverage of it. They were saying that DC is officially safe to swim in.
Yeah, but it's the same thing when they say Baltimore City Harbor is safe to swim in. I would love
Right? Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I'll just keep it to myself. Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? None of us are here, obviously, biologists or people who study water changes. But what do you think your impact on you guys will be?
I mean, in theory, with it being tidal, it's not all just sitting in one place. It's being sucked out and pushed back in. So hopefully, it's not as bad as like a spill into, say, a lake. But
Right.
it's still going somewhere, and who
Yeah.
knows if it even comes up into the bay with different tides? Because a little bit ago we had one of those really big blowout tides with one of the storms coming through, and it sucked most of the water out. So who knows where all the sewage has gone to?
Right. They do say this solution of pollution is dilution,
Right.
or
Yeah.
at least that's what they taught me at school. But yeah, man. I did some of that reading into it, and $675 million or something like that. They're trying to put into that pipeline, trying to get it fixed, and just not fast enough.
Well, yeah, it's a sad thing that they're going to wait until a natural disaster happens to make a change to something that's been needed to be fixed for probably the last 60 years.
Right, and you see it, and that kind of reminds me of a lot of just like the infrastructure we have in our in our country, right? We have a lot of old infrastructure, and we had a bridge where I grew up, like a very major bridge that connects one part of Rhode Island to the other, and some young intern was like monitoring the bridge and found like all these bolts had like stress sheared, and was like, yeah, this should have been replaced years ago, right? But we're gonna wait until disaster. That doesn't seem right, but I get it as far as budgets are concerned, and there's always something that has to give. It's just it constantly seems like it's it's our natural resources that get the
So
short
you don't
end.
worry about it until it's a problem, right?
Right.
And that's what stinks about it, because up north we have it too, right? Not to this scale, but a lot of it is based off of, like, at least in our way. Like, if you roll into, I hate to throw shade, but if you're rolling to St. Albans Bay up on Champlain during the summertime,
Don't
You're
you say
rolling,
farmer? Don't you say farmer?
like, all this blame is on the farmers, right? Like, you're blaming all this on the farmers in St. Albans Bay. Burlington? You're going to blame this on the farmers in Burlington? Are you kidding me? In Plattsburgh, over on the New York side, there ain't no damn farmers in Plattsburgh and Burlington.
No.
Give me a
No,
break.
This is not even
It's-
nowhere near the extent that we have down here on the Eastern Shore with all our Eastern Shore rivers, and we have none of those problems over there because there is no sewage. There's no infrastructure for sewage systems.
no, right.
Right. And trust me, brother, I'm a plumber, pipe fitter. I this is what I've done the last like 7 years of my life. I've seen a lot of this, at least up in our area, and I've seen old sewage pipes, old everything up in our area, and nothing's been touched. Right? The neglect. Come on, dude. Like, you're gonna blame this on the farmers? I'm sorry. I'm gonna get off on a tangent because I grew
Don't
up
say
on a farm.
farmer. I told you. So like
I grew
when
up.
you guys, right? That's
I grew up on a farm, and it's near and dear to my heart. But
Okay.
this is a little bit silly here, right? At least with the Potomac River, what's the? I don't want to like pick your brain in that sense. What's the impact that it's going to make that you think it's going to make in the near future? Not long term, but like next year on the opens.
I mean, I'd imagine on the whole, trickle down that your northern part of the Potomac's going to be more affected than, so say, south of Mattawoman. But you've almost seen that effect happen at least the last 2 years, because all the grass that was up north is pretty much vanished. I mean, if you're trying to find grass below Belmont Bay, you're pretty much tough to find. It's been a slowly just falling down the whole river, and grass is just plummeting off of that place. You can find good grass down in Aquia and Quantico and Mattawoman wasn't even that full of grass this year. Po Monkey's got some and Belmont's got some, but I remember being on the Potomac 5 or 6 years ago, and you go into Belmont Bay and you can't even troll a motor up through it because of how thick grass is. And this year you still had to spend your time and find the grass in May. I mean, obviously, when we were there in October or September, you could see the grass because it was all matted up. But that first tournament in May, you spent most of your practice just riding around trying to find the grass because it wasn't even up. As a comparative to like the Upper Bay in May, the millfield already topped out on the flats, and it was very easy to find. And I went down the Potomac for that first week of practice, and I was shell shocked about how little grass there was in the system. You think back to like the treatment facility up there, and it's just interesting that the farther north you get, closer to that treatment center, the less grass you find. So I'd imagine it's going to be a complete shock to the system this year coming up. That it's got a lot more septic and a lot more, like you said, sulfate or in the water.
yeah, because we
Yeah,
have
and,
them.
and that's definitely like what we've seen. Like, I don't know about like Colin and I fish the St. Albans Bay like quite often. We found some like pretty dang decent pockets, especially around like I wouldn't say spawn because spawn's difficult when it's really dirty. The post spawn has been just if you can find the little pockets in the post spawn, buckle up because it's insane what we can find in the little bit of clear water that we have. Just a little bit. The little bit of inflow that we have going into that bay, it's a fun time. But it's pushing this dirty water around. So say last year I found one of the elite, or was it last year or the year before? I found one of the elite anglers on one of the shores. Dude was flipping his heart out. Couldn't find a dang thing. Nothing on a dock. He moved out about, I'd say like 10 feet, and lights went off. So I think with the dirty water, I think we're going to find the change, right? Is it going to start at the bank and come down, or like what's going on? Because I can only speak on what we know, right? Like we're not on a river system. And is it the same thing on the Potomac where maybe it gets dirty up shallow and then it comes cleaner deeper, or like what's the deal there?
Yeah, honestly, it's at least in my experience, the Upper Bay, the Potomac's been hard to find clear water. In my experience, Upper Bay, you will find spots where if you get out of rain, you will have really clean water. But we have a rainy spring. It'll take till June for the grass to actually make an impact on the water quality up there. I mean, sometimes in July you can see the bottom all throughout the flats, and it's like you're fishing in an aquarium, like you're back at the St. Lawrence.
Yeah.
But Potomac, I have never really run into that, where the clear water has made a difference, at least for me. I mean, I haven't been fishing it. I've probably started down the Potomac 6 or 7 years ago. So I can't really attest to how good it was back 15, 20 years ago. But when I first started bass fishing there, Chickamauga used to be always full of grass, and it was clean. This year, you didn't have no clean spots in Chickamauga.
So here we go. Like with the spillage, you can only assume that it's going to get nastier, right?
Like, I don't remember much there being a foot of visibility.
No.
Like it's to me, it's 6 inches is probably about what you're getting.
Which down here it can be good because it always puts bass on structure. They're not gonna wander because it's like being in a dark room, and then that's a fish's way to know where it is that they're gonna be slugged right up on cover. It's just like we're in a dark room, we're gonna be pushed up against the wall because at least we'll have some kind of whereabouts where you are. So, I mean, it does make for halfway decent fishing, but you pretty much kiss a grass bite goodbye if there's muddy stuff. They're going to be put on the hard cover.
Yeah, it's don't sleep on that dirty water. Like, we have it up here too, man. We're like,
oh yeah,
we have a couple of bays that get chocolate, and
you catch the bigs in them.
Yeah, but you can definitely tell like which fish are used to being in the dirty water and which aren't.
If a different type of dirty.
Yeah, if it gets past like a certain, like there's a couple of bridges I have in mind. When that dirty water gets past these certain bridges, it's way too far, and the fish get confused. But when it stays up where it's supposed to, yeah, it's solid.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. The Potomac seemed like it was on a downturn last year before the sewage happened because nobody really kicked out any major weights out of the Potomac. From what I can remember, it was pretty, ho-hum of what one RBFL, maybe 14 pounds.
If you had 5 fish, you had a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. The September tournament was good, but I could talk to so many people. Trying to find a fish that was over 3 1/4 pounds was a major accomplishment for fishing that tournament. There's plenty of 1.5 to 2 pounders, but catching an above average fish was very hard to do.
Right. I can't speak much because I don't have next to any experience on that river. But I felt like our September tournament, the conditions were much better than they were in the spring. Like you could get bites throughout the day, as the tides were coming in and out. Like it wasn't like the first one where if you didn't catch your fish by 8 o'clock, whatever that was, 8:30.
Well, our first tournament, that blowout tide, I think really ruined a lot of our day because, like I told Colin before, that practice, I had decent water on these pads where I was catching fish, and come tournament day, high tide was at like 8 o'clock or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I looked at my co-angler that day and I said, this is about the lowest I've seen the water all week, and now this is our high tide. And then come 10:30, 11 o'clock, I had to idle out of an entire creek that turned into like 8 inches to a foot of water that usually has 2.5 feet water on it.
Get out and push.
Yeah. and that's the interest,
and that's tough
down here because you always have the X factor of what's Mother Nature going to deal out for you, what's the wind going to do to the bay, and
oh, it's a good dog
for sure. I
Luke, ask him what his dog's name is.
Berkeley Trilene.
That's her ball.
This guy.
Isn't that awesome?
Hey, I love it.
And I got a horse
I
named
do-
Ranger, so
Yeah.
I do have a question for him, though.
You can knock it off.
Next year, Lake Hartwell.
I can look for the answer. If Dad can look for the answer.
What you doing?
I'll be there if you guys are planning on it.
That's what I like to hear.
I think we since the date's out for the classic, I think we all get a little group chat going. We get some guys. We rent a nice little house. We go hang out there for the week. Film a couple shows.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hang out. Have a good little boys' week.
No, yeah, absolutely. We have a good time, and yeah, I'm glad that we covered the Potomac spill, which is just absolutely stupid. Sorry, and we deal with this often. We deal with multiple places but what gets me is that on the northern end of Lake Champlain, right? So the southern end of Lake Champlain has been so good for so long. Am I wrong? No. All these tournament fish have been brought up north, and we're trying to dissect where these fish go, right? And you're just dumping it. And it's not by a fact of like, oh, oops, I'm sorry. It's these companies that won't upgrade their infrastructure for what they're trying to do with on these two different shores. It's not just Burlington. It's not just New York. They haven't increased anything. And all these tournament fish, a lot of them, well, all of them actually, have come out of Plattsburgh. If you look at a map of Plattsburgh and Burlington, we're not too far apart. And all these fish over all these years, think about how far they'll travel. It's
They
not that
travel a
far.
lot faster in the back of a skeeter.
Right. But I listened to a podcast not too long ago. Smallmouth will travel, I think it's like 68 miles or some crazy amount, which to all of us, sure. I agree on that.
They're pelagic.
Smallmouth are crazy. They're crazy. They're pelagic, whatever. But the average largemouth won't travel past 14 miles.
What's that?
Right. That's
So,
yeah.
and that's like a feeding largemouth.
Do,
Like
do you think
all
do you think
is
it's
hungry.
do you think it's because they've been making the run to tie for a long time,
That's what I'm
not-
saying. The
right,
past
like-
30 years.
right? Like that's not a new run. Like if you wanted to go catch largemouth, you went to tie.
Dude,
And-
I've grown up on the lake. I am from Lake Champlain.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. They have been doing this.
Do you think it's because there's new grass here?
No.
Like for 30 years,
Absolutely
these
not.
fish have been moving from down south to up here. They've been hanging out, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So what's the new?
The new is the lack of ice.
Okay.
All these largemouth have wanted to stay north.
Mm-hmm.
And the warming trend has allowed them to stay north. They have not had a reason to travel back back south.
Well, not for nothing. When was the last time you went down to tie?
Sacked up 28 pounds.
You did.
I'm not kidding you. You and I did. Yeah, absolutely. I have the scale weight.
Yeah, whatever that was. But I mean, like, did you go look?
It was
past-
28
no.
Don't even act foolish, okay? It was 28. We had 28 pounds on the southern end of tie. Like, it was a tank back.
Now that's my
And
question. Now is how much has that southern side of Champlain gotten more healthy now that the smallmouth and live scope has started playing? Because nobody has really made the run down the tie, at least in the last two elites events, and
Yeah.
hasn't put that spotlight on tie.
I'm
It's
gonna I'm gonna sit back here. Y'all just talk. I'm gonna figure something out because the last time we were down the tie, we sacked up. May not have been 28. It
it
probably
wasn't
was
28. I think it was like 25.
modest 25.
It was, whatever it was. It
But
was
anyway,
it was a good bag.
I'm not kidding. And it wasn't anything diverse. It wasn't.
It was 6
We
bites.
were super old school in the fact that what we were throwing was. I'll just tell you, I was throwing a speed worm, green pumpkin, dragging it up in the brush. Colin was throwing the jig. Done.
It was a very like post front, very muddy
His-
water deal,
He was
and they
throwing
were
the
on
buzz
very
bait.
specific.
Don't let
parts
him
and
lie to you.
pieces.
He was throwing the buzz bait. Anyway.
I don't think I got a single bite on a buzzbait.
You didn't.
I think I got 3 bites all day. I think it was on some
On
really
a
dark,
jig.
muddy water on a jig
Yeah.
on wood in 6 inches of water.
And I was throwing an old school speed worm.
Yeah.
Just that's it.
I don't think the grass is what it used to be there.
I say I've heard so many stories of that. The lower end of tie is just like a Potomac or an
Oh,
Unpack.
dude, you'd be
It's-
right at home. Yeah, I mean,
So
it's
fun.
yeah, it's just it's not. I don't think there's the same amount of grass. I don't think they're the same amount of big fish, and I think that to make the run, I just think you're driving over a lot of really good spots
Not
and a lot
worth
of
it.
really good fish from Plattsburgh.
Yeah.
Like I think if you live in that area, great. I think you can probably have some lights out days down there. But coming out of for us, we're like the northern tip of the lake. There isn't
Right.
much above us. So
Canada. That's all we got.
right, it's that run to me is bonkers, and it's just because I know
It's a
How
freaking
much-
haul, man.
good fish you're leaving around. I'm not saying that you can't go down there and probably catch 20 to 25 pounds.
Oh, you
I'm sure
can.
there's guys that do it all the time.
It's a haul. And it's a
I-
gamble.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
And
You're banking on the weather too. If you don't
right,
keep
and
the
that's
weather
what it is, man. It's like, and fish is small. It's to me, it's the smallest fishing part of the lake, where
You're
there's
gonna get your brains beat in between Virgins and actual Plattsburgh. If you have anything above that, buckle up.
yeah.
Buckle up. Because it funnels.
You're talking the weather, the wind.
Well, I'm talking about like Champlain, brother. You know this.
Yeah,
It's any
Yeah.
day. It could be a beautiful day in August. We're just loving life. And it's still going to kick your teeth in.
yeah.
I've never seen such a rough patch of water as between Plattsburgh and where the ferry is. That goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dog.
It's the
Dude.
roughest spot I've found.
It's where for some reason the wind just cuts in there funny and it makes a little whirlpool. There's a couple of them on the lake that just there's the one down in Plattsburgh and the one coming around the corner from Swan.
Mhm.
When you make the corner of Swan is tough.
What it does, it cuts in between those. They're not
the
islands;
passes.
they're points,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, the masses. And when that wind comes down, because a lot of people think that like, oh, it's Lake Champlain; it's so long, blah blah blah. It stretches from Canada to Whitehall, New York, Ticonderoga. What it is Whitehall, New York. And a lot of people don't believe, but Lake Champlain flows north, dog. With it flowing north, and you get a southern wind, buckle up. Because then then you get a weird wind coming off the west or east. You pick. The dealer's choice. it's going to smash you in the mouth like you haven't seen anything before. Because how many people have we dealt with that have actually been out in the Great Lakes? Because that's exactly what it's like. It's the sixth Great Lake.
I think it's a Bernie Sanders quote.
It's a fact.
You heard it here first. Between the cast, feel the burn.
Dude. And this is just coming from someone that's I don't have the years and years of experience bass fishing Champlain, right? I grew up bass fishing late. But I have a lot of experience ice fishing Lake Champlain. And I understand the winds. The winds in the wintertime are the same winds in the summertime.
A little colder.
Right. A lot freaking
A lot colder.
But still, well, they swirl. And if you can understand that, then you can get out of these things. Although there's not a lot of getting out, you understand how to make it easier on yourself. I'm sorry that I ran off on this, but I'm very passionate about where I've grown up, and this is such an awesome place in the world. Like Travis, your dad can attest to this. He went fishing with Colin during that one BFL, and he showed you were swimming a tube in 10 feet of grass.
Like a tube, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Can you calculate this? It doesn't make any sense.
Right. And me and
But it
Dad were
makes
there
sense.
for 4 days before the tournament, and I don't even think I even scratched the surface on Champlain. There's literally just
No, you can't.
Yeah. You can't in a lifetime. It's
Yeah.
just big. It's giant, right? I mean,
I've only conquered one river I'm a 30-year-old that's lived on Champlain my whole life. That's it. One river.
and Champlain is the first place I've ran into where they're so pelagic that you find them on a spot and come back in a couple days and they're completely
They're gone.
Yeah,
Nothing's there.
Yeah, they don't set up on stuff like the fish I'm used to fishing for that are current based fish that are going to be there. If you're in the same seasonal pattern, they're still going to be there for the most part.
Yeah, dog.
I'm telling you, yeah, Luke,
That's the first part of knowing.
You're missing out on this whole river title system down there. I think you'd love it.
It fires me up. I want to be part of it.
I think you'd love it. I love it.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
I wouldn't recommend the Potomac, but the Upper Bay has been.
Potomac's tough, dude.
Yeah,
That's
the Bay has been
fine.
superb for the last few
Yeah.
years.
I'm so excited.
I think we should roll this into my question for Travis.
Okay.
Fishing hydrilla. How, what, when, where, and why?
And honestly, I think hydrilla is probably my least favorite grass to fish.
That could be really important.
I mean, the Bay hardly gets any. So that's where I spend most of my time. But Potomac, when it's low, you can still fish over top of it. But I was a little bit overwhelmed when I got down there in September this year because that was the first time I've ever seen it matted up to the point where you can only flip a 1.5 ounce weight and maybe get through it. So, yeah, it was fun.
You had to give us some loft too, an 1.5 ounces.
Yeah.
Thick.
Yeah.
But yeah, at that point, you're pretty much relegated to either flipping it or throwing a frog over top of it, and those were pretty much your two options.
You come up through it.
Yeah, but Upper Bay, I've never had to do that. I mean, there are some times in the summertime where there will be that matted up mess, but the upper bay continues to grow grass in the spots that are a little bit deeper, so you never really have to resort to flipping if you don't want to flip it. So yeah, I was a little bit overwhelmed. So I didn't even, instead of actually fishing the grass where the majority of the good fish were caught in that super tournament on the Potomac was, punching and frogging the grass, I spent time on docks, and that's where you ran into your numbers fish, just because they're a normal 1.5 pound, 2 pounders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ideally, I would love to fish milfoil all the time, but it's just not a feasible thing because that, at least around here, your milfoil gets choked out by every other grass that comes in later in the season.
Right. That's why I was asking about hydrilla, because it just gets so choked out, right?
Yeah.
It gets so engulfed by other.
Yeah, I don't even understand where the fish go in the hydrilla when you get to that point, because if you're flipping an 1.5 ounce weight and you're barely getting through it, how is a fish down there living his life and, seeing food and going to get food and not be caught up in a tangled mess of grass?
Like even when you got that frog on top of them, dude, how can they even?
Yeah,
and they still get it. they don't miss it. Like miss it, but not enough.
At least milfoil makes sense to me because the top of it is thicker than the stems are, because it's not that Christmas tree grass all the way down to the bottom. I mean, milfoil at least makes sense in my mind that, if I flip through the thick part at the top, there's open spots at the bottom.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's exactly why I was asking. Yep.
Yeah, if I can get away from hydrilla, I will get away from hydrilla every day of the week. But there are certain times where you can't even escape it. It seems. But
they love it because it pushes out so much oxygen. They love it. It makes it so hard, man.
Yeah.
It smells so good.
That's why I was asking this question.
So, honestly, the two types of grass that are pretty much the most common on the Upper Bay, I probably spend 80% of my time on the Upper Bay compared to Potomac. So we'll have the milfoil first, and then we'll get eelgrass that comes in second, and then the eelgrass will start to choke out all the milfoil. But you'll still find some pockets of it, but you take a picture of the flats in May and it's 99% milfoil, and you come back in July and your milfoil has pretty much vanished. But it's the same thing with the eelgrass. Eelgrass is two schools of thought on it. People that hate fishing eelgrass, and there's people who love fishing eelgrass because some baits are super easy to get through eelgrass, and then there's other baits where you're like, man, I can't not get a piece of eelgrass hung over top the front of my bait, and you're constantly pulling stuff off. At least down here, it doesn't seem like the fish love the eelgrass just because it's. I don't know if they can't get into it as deep. It's never really as thick as a milfoil bed is. There's no real edge to an eelgrass bed down here. It just kind of grows in the middle of everything.
Okay, and that's completely different than what we deal with up north, because we have our edges, right? And if we're running on our edges, that's where 90% of your bites are going to come from. Yeah, the same deal you're saying is like numbers game, right? That's what you're playing with. But I think that when you're running at least on Champlain, how do I say this without getting too dirty?
Spill it.
I don't want to get too dirty, dude. Because at least up north, I feel like the lake is starting to turn. And the fact that the tighter grass on the deep edges are, I don't know. The tighter grass on the deep edges are starting to play a lot more, right?
Yeah.
You can scope them. You can scope these fish in 30 feet of water on these weed lines that are pushing. They're topping out at say you're talking about 40 feet of water, and they're topping out at 15 foot.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to find some big old largemouth in there but we're throwing a lot of jigs.
Right,
Like
that's what I mean, man. Like I
I
don't
saw,
think that grass is new.
I did see Colin catch on scope this year. I saw him catch a largemouth out of 30 feet of water. Should I say this?
You're in too deep now. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but
30 feet of water. We had, I don't know what type of grass it was. It was just standing grass in 30 feet of water. He was throwing a buzzbait in the middle of no man's land. And there was probably another 10 feet of water above the grass line. This fish came out on scope. I was watching it. Came out on scope and just literally, I mean, rocket popped this sucker out of 30 feet of water. It was insane. It was a largemouth. It was a 3.5 pound largemouth on Champlain. I about pooped myself on the back deck. Because he's like, dude, watch this. Because we were dragging jigs on this weed line around like a point. It was silly, right? And we're just like, we're messing around a lot. And he's like, I'm just going to toss a buzzbait up by the bank. But it was a sharp beating bank. He's like, yeah, you know the whole deal. And he just starts, his inner Massachusetts starts running out of him, you know? It's, and I'm like, dude, what? Excuse me. What in the fuck are you going to catch up in here? Dude, literally 30 feet of water. I saw a 3.5 pound largemouth just mat that sucker. I was like,
it's just so that technique,
insane.
right? It's not just a buzzbait thing. The buzzbait's nice
No.
because it creates enough noise and commotion above them that they can get that it gets down that far. But I've done that with walking baits. It's all you're doing is that specific location that we were on. They're hiding in grass, and when bait comes up above them, they bluff it into the wall. So really, I was just imitating bait busting above.
It was
them.
on the edge of
And
of
you can
some cool
you can
shit
get some
that we
pretty,
found. Sorry.
pretty fun bites. Throwing top water in some pretty big water because those are pretty deep water. Just because those fish will go up and get it. They're not, especially like the bait chasing fish, the fish that actually move throughout these bays and chase bait balls around. They're not lazy. Like they'll go get a meal. So that's one of those. Just looking at a lot of
Cool story.
Yeah. I catch a good handful a year like that.
It was freaking sweet, dude. It was really cool.
Honestly, it's something
We had a couple of those this year.
Yeah, it's something I picked up saltwater fishing. It's we grew up fishing for striper and bluefish, and you just have balls of bait, and you have fish feeding from underneath, and we'd throw these plugs up over the top of them, just.
Dude, we saw a gigantic bait ball right before that. I mean, like a gigantic bait ball.
That's it, man.
Maybe
you just gotta find the bait.
100 yards long. Like it was a huge bait ball he was looking at.
There aren't many bait balls being left alone out there.
His scope screen was just, it looked like smallpox. It was insane. It was insane, dude. And then maybe an hour later, I threw a Carolina rig in 2 feet of water, and I caught a 5-pound smallmouth. Stupid. It was stupid.
Man.
But that's just the interesting part about where at least I'm from, is that all of our fisheries are pretty much shallow. The Upper Bay pretty much averages a depth of maybe 4 foot on a high tide. Yeah. So none of our fish get deep here. There's so much shallow cover that they don't. I mean, there's a couple places like the mouth of Susquehanna River where it dumps out into the bay has a couple spots that are 50 foot deep. But that's nobody even fishes it just because there's just so much available grass that are on the flats. So that's like my interesting part when I
What?
go up north is that seeing grass all the way out to 20 foot. It's just not something I've ever really seen.
Yeah.
Why though? Like, why do you not want to explore that, or is that like something that's just like uncharted and
Uncharted down here. The bay is a very community hole driven fishing location because there's
okay?
nowhere you can hide. So once there's 5 boats together, it turns into 20 boats, and then it turns into 30 boats, and then it
I've heard.
it becomes bumper boats.
Yeah.
I think Chad Pipkins maybe did a good on a couple of elites fishing the one railroad bridge that has some humps out there that are in the 10 to 15 to 20 foot range. But it's just not a local major powerhouse zone where nobody ever does any good when they go out there. And it's more of a I have a couple of spots that are on the edge that like your guys are talking about where it drops off from 4 foot to like a 20 foot drop off where we still can catch bass that are set up on an edge. But most of the time where we're talking about fishing edges, it's literally the same depth, but the grass makes the edge for us because there's not a whole lot of depth change on the bay.
Interesting.
It'll be the grass habitat will make the drop off for you where you're going to fish.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about fishing that shallow water, man. Is like you don't need to worry about all these different parts of the water column. To me, there's 2 parts. There's the top and the bottom.
Yeah,
and that little space in the middle is so small. We talked about this on another podcast.
Yep.
It's like you don't have to worry about it. Like it's not 20 feet, 25 feet long. So you can really get in there and pick apart a good section of what it is, right? And they're on different things, obviously. Like just like when we fished it last year, it's like, the fish that I caught were on very specific things. And once I got through those fish, like I was toast.
Yeah. Well, it's like the same thing that happened to me when I watched all the bass live coverage from Champlain for the last 2 times that the elites were there, and they're all fishing out in the inland sea in between 50 to 20 feet. I'm just like, oh my lord, there's nobody really even fishing shallow besides the Robertson of flipping boat docks,
right?
But our BFL when we were on Champlain, pretty much all the boat docks were out of the water because of how low the lake was drawn down last year.
Yeah, that's the thing. The docks
complete change next year.
They don't play in the summer. Like, I mean, you can go catch a couple off a dock here and there, but like it's not your stereotypical like midsummer. I'm gonna flip every dock in this lake and I'm gonna get 5 bites.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't. I mean, it's just hard. They don't have any water. There's no water, and those fish they back up a little bit and they find that deeper grass.
Now is that a normal thing on Champlain when they usually schedule the BFL that it is always drawn water?
Yeah. So like I can tell you what, this year was back to a normal year. So the conditions that you fished this year are going to be more normal than they were the past 2 years. The past 2 years
they're
we were
going
full
to be more normal,
right? Like we were down to no water between like you could walk to Burton.
This next year is going to be completely different. I promise you that. We had 172 inches of snow on top of one of our biggest peaks on the Vermont side. Mm-hmm. It was like 130 inches of snow on top of our biggest peaks on the New York side. This lake's going to get flooded.
You think it'll just be the spring flood?
No,
it's not going to be the.
No,
you think it's going to stay full the entire time?
Yes, I absolutely do. Yep.
Interesting.
We've had a lot of freaking snow this year, dude, and it's been wild.
So somebody can get up in the Seth Fighters Creek where he caught that, 5 or 6 pound largemouth off of that one tree that I was like, man, I want to go up into that creek when I'm over.
You wait until you see this live coverage, dude. It's gonna make you so hungry to come up north.
I'll tell you what, that log that he fished then is gone now.
Is it?
Can you? Yeah. Oh, dude,
blew right out of there. Most of them it changes.
I know exactly where he was. at the
You
point in
gotta
time he
drive.
was
You
at.
drive past it, see it from the road. Kid you not.
You boot, scoot, and buggy past that sucker.
Yeah.
No one looks at it. It's this year's going to be a freaking whack fest up shallow.
Listen, dude, I love fishing that lake. The more water, the better.
But
I think it depends on the rains. Like I think we can have all the snow in the world, but unless it doesn't if it doesn't rain again in June and July and we have drought, I think we're gonna get right back to where we were.
Another deal is that it's going to be so high that the smallmouth are going to bite real good off the humps. It's going to be silly. Dude, I've seen it. It's the smallmouth on Lake Champlain.
You're talking the big humps?
No. Your shallow humps, the deeper humps on Lake Champlain are going to play a little bit more than your high rising humps.
Yeah. Like you're talking like the sunken islands and the
in your typical years, because lake trout, hear me out. Lake trout, I'm gonna give a little.
This is the first mention of lake trout on this show.
So that's how those smallmouth up there get so big.
Lake trout.
Lake trout and smallmouth on Lake Champlain are not that different. Figure out the lake trout, you can figure out the smallmouth. Because a lot of the times, especially when I'm fishing in the cold months of the year, you'll snag a smallmouth. You'll get a smallmouth. You get a walleye. Blah blah blah. Right, but toward the end of your season in ice fishing, if you're fishing your lake, quote unquote, lake trout spots, you're gonna mat on the smallmouth because they're coming back up. They're starting to feed on the same things that the lake trout are feeding on. The alewives,
the baits move in the same way.
Yes, exactly. And this hurts me a little bit to talk about right now. But anyway, it's such a push that these pelagic fish that you're talking about are feeding the same way as these. Dude, they're freshwater sharks. That's all they are. The lake trout are freshwater sharks. That's all they are. They just want to eat. And the smallmouth are right behind them. Up until you pick a month.
May?
It's different when
April?
the lake starts to thaw out and whatever. It's different every year, right? Like,
yeah, because those lakers will come up real shallow. What is that, 10, 15 foot of water?
Right.
And then
Dude, I've had so many years when I was a kid and we will fish these lake trout off of cliffs and whatnot. We catch 4-pound smallmouth out of 60 feet of water.
How much of that do you think is the life cycle of the fish versus the life cycle of the bait?
I think it's the lake more than anything.
Do you think it's like the actual like geography of the lake?
Yeah, I do, because I've fished the same spot in New York for, I don't know, dude, since I was like 5 to 7 years old. And I stopped, like, I'm not going to say stopped fishing it because I still know about it, right? Like, but I've fished the same spot since I was like 5 to 7 years old up until now. Like, I can go there now, and in the spring I know I can catch lake trout.
Right.
And then right after I can catch smallmouth. I know it for a fact.
That might be one of those good questions for that for the biologist.
I know a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I know we're working on that.
It's really worth talking about because
Yeah.
why wouldn't they be feeding on the same things? Think about it. The same
I mean, I
thing.
think if you're occupying,
They
if
move
you're
the
any fish,
same.
right, you're occupying the same space, right? You're gonna feed on. Right? If you're a fish that's occupying the middle of the water column, you're gonna be feeding on alewives.
If you're on Champlain and you're fishing smallmouth in 60 feet of water,
Mm-hmm.
hear me out, and that's an extreme. Like if
Sure.
you're scoping in 60 feet of water, like that's deep.
You're probably winning a tournament.
Those are some wolf packs worth 3 to 5 fish, maybe.
Yeah, they're
But-
$1,000 a piece.
Uh-huh. And
Catch 5 of them.
but the fish that you're catching beside them, those are lake trout. Can we just think about that a little bit though? Like,
Am
I just stupid, or have I been
No,
fishing
I'm just-
Lake
am I-
Champlain since
am I
I've
casting
been 3
at-
years old?
am I casting at lake trout? Is that what you're telling me?
Or
Am I-
5 to
am I-
6 pound smallmouth?
Right? Am I actively scoping?
That's
lake
what I'm
trout?
saying, dude. I'm
'Cause listen,
not kidding.
I will.
But when they're
I'll
grouped
scope
up,
some junk fish, dude. I'm not afraid.
that's the thing. But when they're grouped up like that, when there's tight groups, you're not fishing lake trout. Lake trout don't group up because they're too predatory in that specific area.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research on this. I'm interested. But I think you're telling me I'm just live scoping lake trout. I mean, you could ask Travis, dude. I'll lake scope catfish. I'll lake scope just about any or whatever. I'll live scope whatever. Waiting for me to come back to the ramp. Hey man, where are you? I'm live scoping these catfish with a jig.
I'm
Give
just
me a
gonna
minute.
sit here and tell you guys that I'm 30 years old and I've been fishing Lake Champlain for 28 years, 27 years, and I can show you pictures of some gigantic fish that I've showed you, Colin.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm not stupid,
No, I've never thought
but
of it
I've
as
tried
a
to
correlation.
connect the dots throughout the years.
Yeah, and see that's interesting because I think for you and how you grew up fishing, you can make that connection, right? So you can say, "Hey, this is where lake trout are and what they're doing," and be like, "All right, that makes sense to me." Oh, there also happens to be smallmouth here, and make that connection.
I have also caught smallmouth in this
Right,
situation.
and like for a guy like me, and I'm going to assume a guy like Travis who didn't grow up catching lake trout, right? So for me, it's like
predatory fish.
right, like I fish largemouth and smallmouth. I understand where those two fish are, right, and what they're doing. I understand what the bait they feed on is doing, but I've never thought of it as like this other species of fish, like they're piggybacking on what they're doing.
They
So
absolutely are.
I think that's I
100%.
think that's an interesting way to take your past experience and use that towards something else on the lake.
That's how I always think about it because, especially on Champlain. I'm sorry to go on this Champlain tangent, but perch are the same way. They really are. In between catching these bigger fish on Champlain, right? You're gonna find big old yellow belly perch on Champlain, and in between that are gonna be your smallmouth. We just haven't been able to access them in a long time because the lake hasn't been like frozen totally since 2019.
Yeah. Huh.
I'm not blowing smoke, dog.
I don't think you're blowing smoke. I think this is something that I just have not paid attention to. I think I may have neglected this.
I think about it in my dreams.
I think I just
to be
look at
honest
it a
with you,
different way.
because I've
To be
caught
honest,
gigantic walleye in this lake, and yeah,
interesting. Yeah, I think I look at it very differently. Like I don't look at it as this species doing this next to this species. I think of it very linear. Largemouth bass go here.
I don't think they
Food.
move as far as what people think they move.
Okay. Why do you think that is? I think I have a reason.
Why do you have a reason?
Because why would they?
Food.
The food's there. I don't.
The food moves as the lake moves.
Yeah. Like instead of it being every 8 hours.
So
right?
you're bringing it here,
right?
and you're going to put it
every
here.
8 hours. The water moves.
Correct. We're doing this jousting thing, and that's why I don't think it moves as much as people think it moves. And that's just talking about Lake Champlain, right? Like,
yeah,
whatever. I've been on the St. Lawrence. I've been on Cayuga. I've been on Oneida. Whatever. Totally different fisheries.
Yeah.
But I can only speak on what I know, and I feel like I know Champlain.
Yeah, I'd be curious, man. You think about it, like think about how far those floaters move. Well, in the spring when we have all those logs,
And they go right back.
be curious, man. That's something else I'll look into. Oh,
Because I mashed the hell out of them in the river, dog.
yeah,
And guess what? They come right back to the river.
yeah. Because you get it. I mean, yeah. I mean, Travis is used to that. His water moves with a much frequent, like it's much more predictable. I feel like it does this, and you look at the patterns, and you can tell how much it's going to move each day, right? Versus us, it's like it's so seasonal and based on, is it going to be a dry winter or is it going to be a dry summer?
I want to get Travis's idea on the Bassmaster Classic.
Oh, good one.
This year coming up.
Right now on the Tennessee River in Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's get it.
I think Gussie's got a real good shot at going back to back. At least in Tennessee.
On the river?
Yeah.
On the river.
It's really going to be about who finds those bigger smallmouth. I don't think the largemouth will play as much as people are trying to say they're going to play.
I'm interested. I'd like to see a back-to-back.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I think those are fun.
Well, especially at the same place. It'd be
right.
Kind of a domination because he's won an Elite Series event on the same river and then come back and try to win 2 classics.
Yeah.
The Nutt brothers, who I think are is it one of them that are in the classic or is both of them just in the classic? I think it's just the one.
I think it's the one too.
He's really good on the Tennessee River chain. I think he's also got a very good chance at going out and winning. It's just the interesting part of Gussie made a couple spots famous on that whole river.
Right. Yeah, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan Nutt.
Yep.
But so I doubt that Gussie will be able to go back to his same spot where he caught all of his fish in the first classic and go out there and have the same kind of success. He's going to have to reinvent the wheel. But that's what they're known to do, is to go out and reinvent the wheel every tournament.
That's what makes him so good, man. People don't get it. Like, it's so hard to just show up. Like, not that they just show up, right? There's practice and prep and a lot of it, but just to make that like, oh, this is in front of me now. We do this. Like, whoa. Like I can't get my shoes tied in the morning that effectively.
It's the same time when every time I go way up north to where I try to do something that I've seen the elites do, just because they caught fish here last year, and it's the same thing when I'm local and somebody says, "Oh, go out here and catch them doing this," but it's so hard to go catch other people's fish because it's not what you found.
No, dude, it's me in the St. Lawrence River. I can't figure the place out, man. Like it's the best smallmouth fishery in the world. Like, I haven't found a lot of smallmouth there, man. I found some good largemouth, but like,
I got so lucky on the spot that I stumbled on the St. Lawrence just because, it was something that I was kind of used to fishing. It was nothing that, I wasn't fishing in 25 foot of water and, doing something I wasn't.
Drifts.
Yeah.
No, drifting some water. Yeah.
I spent the first 3 days of practice up there doing that. And it's just, it's about the guys who are going to take their strengths of what they're good at, what they are very comfortable doing, and trying to translate that into whatever place they're at. And Gussie is probably one of the best to mope a minnow around.
Yeah.
And that's what works on that fishery. So it'll be your forward-facing guys that are very good with the jig head, and even Gussie did it on Gunnersville without forward-facing sonar and just using straight 2D. Or
that's what I was telling Colin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2D. He's pulling out the 2D.
Because this classic, they can all use scope.
Yeah.
So next year, curious to see what the plan is.
It's going to be interesting.
Right?
That's for sure.
I don't think they need it. These guys, they don't need it. When they have it, look out, but they don't need it.
That's the same thing. It's the same thing on every tournament. Do you want to go out and see somebody catch 35 to 40 fish a day, or do you want to see them go out and grind it out for 8 hours and catch 8 fish on live camera?
Right. Well, that was...
I don't care either way, to be honest with you.
And the true fans of the sport are going to watch it regardless.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care either way.
Yeah.
No, and that... Right. I can't remember. There was a gentleman who put something on YouTube or whatever, Facebook. I was watching the video. He's like, I don't get it. He goes, everyone's complaining about forward-facing this, forward-facing that. We can't watch the forward-facing on a tournament. And what do? They take the forward-facing away, and it's still the guy's back. He's still looking down at some 2D. He's casting at some stuff. It's the same coverage. The same coverage. He's like, I've never seen, right? But people are like, it's great. It's great. It's like, it's the same.
Greg Hackney flipping a jig. Gussie
throwing a jig in 20 feet of water. It's at the end of the day, it's a jig.
Give me
it's
a damn
jig
break.
Head with just a minnow on it. And it's.
You're watching a guy do it's wood or it's the middle of the lake. Who gives a damn?
But
and
don't you know that live scope screen? They just jump in the boat whenever you point the sonar at them. They don't,
I wish they did.
Me too.
Ask Travis. Half the internet told him about it last time we did a forward-facing segment.
Trust me, dude.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I need to put a big spotlight on the front of my boat and just tell them they need to jump in the boat.
Jump right here, dude. Right here. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that video got whatever. Almost 60,000 views on Facebook, and everywhere else it got like 100, but Facebook loved it.
I just hope people just come to their senses, but it's not going to fucking happen. So whatever.
No, man. At the end of the day, we talked about this. Was it last week? Or no, I talked about it on our last show.
Yeah.
It might just not, like, bass fishing might never be just as popular as baseball, and that's okay. Like, to me, that I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being a little bit more niche. Totally fine. Not everything needs to be the NBA or whatever. NASCAR, right? It doesn't need to be that popular.
But at least Bassmasters is on television, on cable television, live coverage on the weekends. Yeah. Major tournaments. They didn't do that 10 years ago. You know, there
No,
was no.
no, it's growing for sure. But
That's just like they wouldn't have been able to go out and catch 35 pounds of fish every day at where Sam Rayburn without forward facing. So
you boys,
which tournament would you rather watch, where they go
all
out and
right,
catch 22 pounds, or would you rather go out and see them catch 36 pounds in a day? I mean,
dude. I'm happy with watching guys going fishing.
yeah,
I'll tell you what, that
Was it
those opens down a
the
Rayburn.
last derb on Santee 38-3, 38-8 or whatever? Pigs.
Dude. Like
Put Luke McKee in to sign up to watch that thing because I want to see it.
yeah, and then teach me how to do it afterwards.
I want to see it.
Yeah. Well, you gotta go through one of those Gokis, dude.
yeah. I have a couple of those baits now, but I'm just still,
Dude.
intimidated. Confused.
Dude, they're like, you just drop shot it, and it's like, do you ever put one of those in your dryer machine? The little bouncy ball thing? That's what it is.
Yeah.
The little link catcher. It's a
I want to throw
Japanese link catcher.
a little shout out to one of the buddies that I grew up with, Alec Morrison. This guy,
Alec.
he's drop shotting damn 6XDs or whatever the hell he's doing.
Yeah, dude, the dude's a sicko.
This dude's an animal. Like, I grew up fishing the same farm pond this dude did, and he's a fish catching machine. Yeah, he comes back home, he does whatever he does on Champlain, but you put him on any pond in the United States, and he's going to be in the top 5, top 10, easy.
Alec, we know you're big time, dude, but come on the show.
Yeah, let's just give a little talk here. I'd love to talk shop. This dude's fucking ridiculous.
Listen. We can
We'll
just
see
hang
him down
out.
at the
I won't even record it or post it. We could just hang out if you'd like. Or we could record it and make a really fun, cool episode.
It's a little silly, right? Like, think about it. This dude grew up fishing the same stuff I did. Look where he is. It's the fish brain. It's the fish brain, dog.
Dude.
He's got the absolute fish brain.
Yeah. No, that'd be fun.
Same thing down with you guys, like Brian Schmidt, dude. Like,
Hammer.
He can understand a body of water. Like, it's just a different level.
Well, Brian, really his blood has current. Like every 8 hours, like it just like everyone's heart pumps and it circulates. No, his just goes back and forth.
Well, I had just found out that long ago that one of my best friends that I went to elementary school, his grandfather was the one that Brian Schmidt was his co-angler for all the tournaments where Brian Schmidt was just starting to get into bass fishing. And I was like, dude,
so
you're just telling me that your grandfather is the one who protéged Brian Schmidt. Thanks, man.
Yeah. It would have been good to know about.
How about
10
we
years
start
ago,
talking
dog.
a little bit more?
Right? Yeah. I think I'll go out and hang over at his grandparents' house for a little bit and just
bring cookies over,
have some
mowing
beers.
grass.
No, those are the type of people you got to get drunk.
Yeah.
Right.
But everything I've heard, Brian's a super cool dude. But Brian's pretty much the only one for Maryland to do anything on the pro side, other than John Cruz out of Virginia. But this Mid-Atlantic region is not known for kicking out bass fishermen that are, obviously there's a couple local sticks, not a couple,
sure.
A handful. But you put them anywhere else, it starts to get really interesting of what they can do. It's the same thing where everywhere, you have certain guys who only fish one place for their entire life, and they will go out there and kick your teeth in every day of the year because that's the only place they fish.
Right.
Put them on a random pond that they know nothing about, and let 10 guys who one guy's really good at doing multiple different things, and he'll go out there and win just because it's not the same thing this guy's seen for the last 25 years.
Sometimes being versatile pays off.
Yeah. And that's like one thing I pride myself in, that I fish different places all the time. I don't just spend all my time in the Upper Bay, but I'll go out in the Upper Bay and fish these bigger jackpot tournaments and just get my butt handed to me by the same 6 guys every year.
Yeah.
So you're like, do I go spend the time on the upper bay just to figure it out, or do you just keep the versatility factor in and just keep on
No.
traveling around? And
You
That's
know,
exactly what you
we
do. Just
we
keep
do the
on
same
moving,
thing up
bro.
here. We donate to the same handful of gentlemen every weekend.
Yeah.
Right? And
Because
we do it with grace. With a big smile on
if
our
a
face.
major derb comes up here, the guys that are in our local derb win
Yeah.
this derb that comes up north.
And then,
if there's
and then
an
they
entry,
beat up on us.
right? Which I'm fine with. Like I learned from that. Like, so I grew up wrestling and whatever. If I got my teeth kicked in from a better wrestler, I'm learning from this, and that's just the type of person I am. But think about Lake Champlain, the St. Lawrence River, right? Just the St. Lawrence River, not Lake Ontario. How many pros came out of those two places? And they're probably in the top 5 best fisheries in the world. How many pros?
So it's in New York.
I mean, Kyle
Zero.
Patrick came out of Cooperstown.
Yeah,
What
Cayuga,
about Jamie Hartman?
Yeah.
Southern New York.
Well, you count the Johnston brothers for the St. Lawrence?
Oh, the old Canadian
No,
side.
Lake Ontario.
Okay.
I don't specifically. I don't, but like, yeah, they have a lot of spots on the St. Lawrence, but how many tournaments have they won on the St. Lawrence?
Yeah, not many.
Right. But and we advertise this thing that these are the 2 best fisheries, smallmouth fisheries in the world.
All right. So after I'm live scoping lake trout, and are you saying that
You're
St.
not
Lawrence-
You're not live scoping lake trout.
Are we saying that the St. Lawrence isn't as good as we say it is?
The river, no.
Yeah, I
The
think
river specifically.
I think I'd second that.
it's pretty unfair that they lump Lake Ontario in with the St. Lawrence whenever they
It should be a lake. Yes, thank you. It should be a Lake Ontario event out of Alexandria Bay.
Right, yeah. If you count the last, the beginning 10 miles of the river, okay, fine. That probably does fish very similar to Lake Ontario.
So, question: are we saying it doesn't fish as well just because the fishing next to it is that good?
Yes,
Right? Like it's like you go fish
100%.
like Lake Ontario, but the fishing in the St. Lawrence River is still phenomenal. But it's
small
just not.
Disneyland.
Well, I get that. You're talking to the guy that can't catch a smallmouth to save his life, dude. I haven't caught a smallmouth in 18 months.
Yeah,
it's been bad.
I catch them out of the back of the boat just fine.
Yeah, that's the only reason we have a mixed bag.
I catch them out of the back of the boat just fine.
It's interesting, man. I wonder, yeah, because we always say the St. Lawrence River, 1,000 Islands. There's a lot of great fish in there. But is it because
they're
rope,
super specific? Yeah.
Yeah, or do we rope the big lake onto it?
And honestly,
It's a big lake.
I'm under the unpopular opinion that the upper part of Massena to Ogdensburg, it's almost a little easier to catch fish in that section of the river just because there isn't as much stuff that holds fish comparative to Alexandria Bay, and
Yeah,
100%.
you have
every
so
little rock and grass pile.
you have
There's
so much down there.
Big old largemouth up in Messina, bro.
Is there?
Oh yeah, get up in the grass up in Messina, Ogdensburg area. Oh yeah, fire me up. I
there's
got
a
some
couple.
pictures. I have some pictures to show you.
I caught 19 and a half pounds in between Ogdensburg and Waddington, all on a grass flat.
That's a pretty good bag up there, dude.
Yeah.
On a chatter chicken, guarantee it.
No, doing the cheater box. Over top of
And
the
on the cheater box.
my co-angler caught with his 3 fish. I think he had 12 something on a jerkbait. So it wasn't
Yeah.
just non-conventional where
No,
not forward
you're
facing.
on good fish.
Yeah.
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 And the funny thing was, I had multiple people around me the whole tournament, and nobody else was seemingly catching them. And every single one of them came up to me in the tournament after the tournament weigh-in and was like, "Man, you had a really good day out there." I was like, "Yeah, I jumped off 3-4 pounders too. That would have helped me too." But
That's how it goes.
At the spot, dude. And he didn't have to run all the way out to the lake.
no, I was fully anticipating running to Brockville, but I never had the reason to go because it just
Nope.
was one after another.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
We got to talk, Travis, because I got a couple spots out by the lake. If you got the undercarriage to send it, then
I ran 96 miles one way, or no, 120 miles in a day on the James. I ran that. I ran my boat 270 miles at 240.
I've got a
miles.
couple of friends that I ran into that have a couple spots up. Yeah, whatever. We'll talk.
Yeah, that James River tournament. I've never ran my boat so much, and
Dude.
I mean,
And that's half the battle, right? Because you want, like, can you do it? And mentally, can you handle running that far?
yeah, and wasting half of your fishing day just driving instead of
Right.
You have to be so effective when you get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not there as an angler, man.
With the new rules with the forward facing, I bet you somebody is going to go balls to the wall and just make that long ass.
It's perfect for it.
Yeah, and have 3.5, 4 hours to fish and come back, and hopefully
It's
you get
perfect. Because exactly, I'm gonna go, boop, drop that on, go hit my rock piles, go hit my little one piece of grass that's sticking up with the 40 smallmouth sitting on top of it, and
Boop. Right back.
yep.
Okay.
I got told Colin before in the first podcast, this whole 3-hour rule just makes everybody that's very good with it, it will not hurt them. It's the guys that are still learning how to use it and be efficient with it. It'll kill us.
Yeah.
And because I'm not efficient with it yet, because like I said earlier, the deepest we fish usually is 4 foot to 5 foot, and it's all chock full of grass after May. So I have. We can use it to find ditches and stuff around here, but other than that, you're not in Upper Bay. You're not just scoping a fish out in a grass bed just because most of the time you're seeing nothing but grass.
Yeah, and I don't think you're that far off of what you think you are, to be honest. And don't get me, by any means, I'm not an expert scoper. I've been a guy at the back of the boat for the last few years, and before that, I've never used any technology at all through the ice. But understanding what I've seen in the last few years, and like every time that I'm trying to look at this box, this screen that is live sonar, I try to collect so much of what I see. And I don't think that you guys that are standing at the front of the boat are so far off of what you think you are. I think you guys are actually...
Yeah.
No, and I know this, and I'm speaking in terms of talking to Colin, because him and I fish with each other enough, right? Like we fish with each other a lot, and he's like, "Oh, I just can't catch this fish. I don't know what I'm looking at, or blah blah blah." I think you do. I really do. I think it's all in your head. It's just like competing, right? Like, oh, I think this guy is going to shoot a single leg, but if I step out, and I bring my left foot across, he's going to shoot a double, and he's going to sweep me. No. It's not that. You're there. Just make the accurate cast. I don't know. I did it well in the Champlain event. Out of the back of the boat, I was trying to scope from 20 feet back on this 16-inch screen. I'm like, peeking on this guy. I'm like, oh shit, like, like trying to do one of those deals, and I really don't think that. In some situations, yes, it's freaking hard, man, because you can't get a fish to bite. It's a fish. It's another, like I said on one of these other podcasts. We're not trying to fake out a human. We're trying to fake out a whole nother species of life, right?
Sure.
You have no idea what they're thinking. At the end of the day, we have no idea. I'm not stupid, and we just have to figure out their tendencies, right? When we throw that bait in front of them, are they going to go left or right? We don't know, but we can lead them. That's all it is, dude. That's all it is. We can't make it. We can't make it anything more than that.
And sometimes all it is just about changing presentation instead of doing the same thing all day over and over and over.
Right.
Give them a different look, because who knows what that one fish wants. They're not all...
And after 2 casts, why get inside our heads?
Sure.
Why?
Yeah. I'm just. You think
I have a free mind. I have a free thinking type of mentality, right? Like my head's like I should have grew up on the West Coast surfing, dog. Like I'm so like I'm so like, shit, dude, if you didn't bite that, whatever, throw it out again. We'll be all right. We'll do the same damn thing, but like change a little bit. Like maybe over to the right or over to the left. Maybe not so much straightforward this time. Like breathe through it. And I do have to talk to Colin about that, right? Like we can breathe through this thing. He's a masshole in himself. He gets a little tense. So
a little, dude.
I've gotten a lot better with myself over the last 3 years, to where I've finally gotten off of my hot streaks. But tournament day always amps up emotion just because there's so much on the line.
Oh, for sure.
That's it, man. It's
we just got all to remember, like, we're all trying to outsmart another species. So, like, let's not get too full of ourselves here. We need to
at the end of
dial it down.
At the end of the day, we're just losing our money that we put in. It's not like it's a life or death situation where
Thank you.
Right.
It's not that deep at times.
You're donating it. It's basically just you're supporting another local guy, right? Yeah. Very rarely is it somebody from way out of town, right?
No, you will be there. I just think about it way too much. We have to just dial it back a little bit, I think, because we're so far ahead that we have to dial it back. Bring it back to the basics.
Hey, we've said that on this show.
Shoot, dude. Dial it back a little bit. We'll be all right.
Yeah. What else you guys got? Go to the order. We've been an hour and a half.
Shoot.
I think we do a part 2.
Yeah, I'm down. I can talk for forever about fishing. It's like one of my favorite topics to talk about.
I gotta hop off, so.
Cool. All right, boys. Well, I think we're gonna do this again. This was good. This was This was the test. This was the beta version of how this rolls. So I think we're gonna do this again soon.
We gotta go down to classic, Doc.
Yeah, but we're gonna plan that for next year. We'll get one of them.
Maybe
Nice little
Knoxville
bachelor prizes.
Maybe we tune old Travis in down at the old classic. Give me a little.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll have some dates and some time set up. We're gonna do a live show from the classic.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now that I've announced it, we got to actually do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, now it's in paper.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a live show.
Okay.
Probably live from our hotel room, but unless we can find something cool that's in a public space to do it with some Wi-Fi.
Once you figure that out, then we can go live from the old Nale abode after the Chesapeake Bay tournament.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Yeah. So we're gonna start throwing in some live shows. I'll post some dates and some times and some stuff so you guys can put it on your calendars. We won't do it too late. Yeah,
All
maybe
right.
still with us from the beginning. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Thanks for being with Between the Casts. Peace.